How you doing? This is Coffee Break with Jimmy. And now that Eric Swalwell has resigned from Congress and he's resigned from the race of the governor of California, and so he still has his due process. Of course, he's got 5 different women. That's for some have claimed that the sexual misconduct. I don't want to say all the things that he actually done. It's kind of gross. But, I always thought he was a weasel anyway. And I think most people did. Ever since Fang Fang, when he had that Chinese spy that he was fooling around with here a few years ago. But, of course, he was Nancy Pelosi's boy. He's from California here in I should say the Bay Area. And so he kind of followed Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi led him on his way and got him into Congress, and now then he said, well, it was Jimmy Kimmel show. He announced that he's going to run for governor, and so none of these guys, Jimmy Kimmel, none of these talk show hosts that backed him, none of them are saying anything now. No one's saying anything now. The reason is because the media. Of course, the Democrat Party, they covered for him. They covered for his nefarious actions. They covered this. They didn't, because I didn't know. Like I said, I knew he was kind of a weasel, and I didn't like him anyway. I didn't like any of his. All he did for the Democrat Party was just hate Trump, just like anyone else in the Democrat Party. That's all they got. They don't got no policy. They didn't got no way to. He never had a plan on how he's going to correct California, get California back on its feet. No one has a plan. I think Steve Hilton has a plan. I think Chad Bianco has a plan. And that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about how bad certain people are, Kamala Harris and who all that. Well, of course, a lot of people talk about how bad she is because she's an empty vessel. But this is what they're talking about. They have actual plans. This is Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton. So Eric Swalwell was a leading Democrat runner in the state for governor. So now that he's out, what is he going to do? It's going to go to his numbers are going to go to Katie Porter, I guess this Javier Becerra. And they said this Matt Mahan he was a San Jose Mirror, and he's another one that's running. And of course, you got that Tom Steyer, and all he is a billionaire that's just throwing money at it, and he doesn't have a plan either. So, and at least if they had something to talk about, was a plan to get California back on its feet. All they say, this is what they all say. We're the 5th largest economy, or 4th largest economy. And that's all they state. Oh, we're the. You know what? Why? How come we're in the hole? How come we're broke? We're broke because there's so much fraud. And you can go. I don't care what state you go to. It's a blue state, red state. There's fraud everywhere in the United States, and that's our taxpayer money that's going. Just like I was hearing on the news today, and they've said this before, but they're reiterating today because they were showing this guy or this guy that wanted to be a girl. So because he's an illegal alien, but he gets the opportunity, he wants to become a woman. So they paid for breast implants. Are you kidding me? There's people out there that's homeless and needs to eat. There's other people that need other issues that they have, and they're actual legal citizens. And here they're given free through Medi-Cal or Medicare, is actually giving illegals the right to change their sexual preference. That's bullshit. This shouldn't be. Anyway, I just heard that today. And that's how the Democrats, they just feel like, in the state of California, okay, I'm talking about the state of California. Gavin Newsom doesn't have a clue. He's spending, that's $126 billion he spent on the bullet train. I've talked about the bullet train 1,000 times. It was only supposed to cost $33 billion, and it's not even. They don't have any track laid. There's no. Between Shafter and Merced, that's all it's gone. It's supposed to go to L.A. to San Francisco, and I think Chad Bianco and I think Steve Hilton they probably are going to end that program or find a private company that will actually do this at a cheaper cost. Someone like Donald Trump and the Trump organization, maybe they can do it cheaper. But this whole thing, about Swalwell, I think the Democratic Party they've done this by design. Okay, we have to get him out of the way. We have to make the group smaller instead of having 4, 5, 6 people running on the Democrat side. And the two leaders right now are Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton. And they don't want those two to win the primaries because then they'll run against each other for the governor of California. And that's what we want. That's what most people want, Republicans anyway. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But anyhow, that's what's going on right now. I didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday because I had to work yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk about this. So we'll see what happens there. I know President Trump is now. He's got. I guess he's got between Lebanon and Israel. They got a ceasefire there now, and they're actually talking to each other for the first time in 34 years. Something's happening there. They got to get Hezbollah out of there. Hezbollah is really running the show there in Lebanon. But I think if they come together, and they're even saying that Lebanon might join, the accord there. What is it called? Anyway, along with Bahrain and UAE and Qatar and the Abraham Accords, they're talking about joining that. And I guess that blockade there on the Strait of Hormuz, I guess that's working out real well too. And where actually Iran doesn't have much left, they don't really have a bargaining chip. All they can do really is just say, okay, we give up. And then the mullahs and whoever their leadership is there that they believe is in place, they need to be exiled like they did with the Shah, and go in some other country, be exiled there, and be either that or they're going to end up dying. Now, I said boots on the ground. I've claimed that boots on the ground is probably the only way we're going to clean that up because they got a lot of people that are loyal to the mullahs and to their leadership. That's the only way we're going to stop them, because they don't have anything. They don't have an air force. They don't have a navy. So all they got is some people that are loyal to them on the ground, and the people, the regular people of Iran, want their freedom back. They're not coming out of their homes. They're not doing anything because they don't have the Second Amendment. They have no way of arming themselves. So they can't fight back with the people that are loyal to the mullahs down there because they're armed. They've got weapons. So something's going to have to give there. But the Strait of Hormuz is the blockade is working there. A lot of this stuff is working for our country and for Israel. So we'll see what happens there, and hopefully this will be coming to an end here pretty soon. But they can't have uranium. They can't make a nuclear warhead. Okay, whatever they said they got 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds. I'm not sure how, but is it one or the other? 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds of uranium that they can make up to 11 or 12 nuclear warheads. Man, I don't know what it consists of each warhead. How many pounds of this 60% to 80% spun uranium to where it's weapons grade, and but they say they have this. Well, they have to turn that over, and so there's a lot of things still that are on the table still, and I think, the Democrats are all saying, well, they had no reason to attack. Well, sure they did. Sure they did. They said they want death to America, death to Israel. And as soon as they got a weapon that would, an ICBM that would deliver this weapon, this nuclear warhead, to reach our shores, they were going to do it, because that was their mantra. They wanted to kill the West. And well, let's face it. Now, we had to do it. We had to stop them. And we can't stop now. We have to finish the job. We can't do what they did in Iraq. I said in my last podcast, we can't do what they did in Iraq when George H.W. Bush, when he pushed Iraq out of Kuwait, and then they stopped. And then it wasn't long after that, of course, the Clinton administration went by. Nothing happened there. Saddam Hussein kept saying, I have weapons of mass destruction, and he was going to do something to the West also. And Clinton didn't do anything. And then here it comes along, and George W. Bush's administration and his presidency, well, then September 11th happened. And it's been a fight ever since, and we've had to protect ourselves in different ways. DHS was developed out of that, and because we have to protect ourselves on planes, make sure people can't get on planes, and with box cutters or whatever they had there, that's how they took over the planes and flew them into the tower. Excuse me. So it's this is what has to happen now. And they keep saying the approval rating of President Trump is like at 38 or something like 40%. Well, that's probably pretty much all Republican. The disapproval rating would be pretty much all the Democrats. And there'll be some others, some independents that probably disapprove from one thing or another. But some people really don't understand this whole thing that Iran wants to end the West. So we have to stop them. So anyway, now Eric Swalwell is out of the running for governor of the state of California. We're going to have to see where that goes. Hopefully Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco can stay in the lead. And like I said, Eric Swalwell, he has his he has his right to a fair trial. He's got his and he's got it he's got a lot to worry about now. He said he's going to fight this all the way. He claims he's innocent, and we'll see where that goes. And then they said all the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, even some of his friends there, his colleagues, said that they knew nothing about this. Everybody kind of whispered about this. He said he was very flirtatious. Well, you know what? There are some guys that are that way, and a lot of times that flirtatious means a little bit of something there. That's just like the beginning of whatever they're trying to do. And apparently, this Eric Swalwell, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he's guilty or not. But he's got the right to a fair trial and to represent himself, and so we'll see what happens. So anyway, this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. And that's kind of an update about what's happening. Please subscribe and hit the like button, share, and the notification bell so you see what I'm on next time. Thank you very much.